Hello, I'm Teacher Robin. Welcome to another live streaming class. If this is your first time with us, let me explain how the classes work. Today our topic is English for meetings, for business meetings. If you have a question during the class, you can write your question in the comments and I'll answer it at the end of the class. I also have some questions for you to check what we've learned today, and you can write your answers in the comments as well. So before we start with today's topic, let's review what you learned in last week's class in case you missed it. We talked about reported speech. So we looked at the differences between direct speech and reported speech, and then when we use each one and how to change from direct speech to reported speech, so the grammar involved there. So if you missed that class and you want to watch it, then go to the video section of our Facebook page, and there you can find all of our previous classes so you can watch them again, you can share them on your Facebook page, or you can tag someone who you think might want to watch the video as well. Okay, so today let's look at some important vocabulary for meetings. So imagine if you use English at work, it's very likely that you'll have to participate in a meeting. So we're going to look at some different meeting vocabulary, how to agree and disagree, how to give constructive criticism. So we're going to look at all of that today, starting with the vocabulary. Okay, so in a meeting, the objectives are the goals that you want to accomplish in that meeting. So let's see an example. Our objective for this meeting is to approve the budget. So that is your goal. Your goal or your objective is to approve the budget during that meeting. Okay, the agenda in a meeting is the list of objectives that you have to cover, the things that you have to talk about in this meeting. For example, we have 5 items to cover on today's agenda. So you have to talk about those 5 different topics. Okay, the minutes are a written record of everything said at a meeting. So normally a secretary or someone will write down the minutes and then you can review them at the next meeting, or sometimes they email them to everyone so you know exactly what was said. Okay, for example, before we begin today's meeting, let's review the minutes from last week. Okay, the speaker in a meeting is the person who shares information or delivers a speech. Okay, so you might have one speaker or several speakers in one meeting. Okay, for example, today we have a guest speaker from our Barcelona office. Okay, the chairperson in a meeting is the person leading the meeting. So you might have one chairperson and then several speakers, for example, but the chairperson is the one who keeps you on track, focused, who makes sure that you're covering all of the items on the agenda, for example. Okay, so the board appointed a new chairperson for the next quarter, for example. Okay, to bring forward, this is a phrasal verb. If you bring something forward in a meeting, it means that you meet earlier than planned. So you change the date of the meeting and you bring it forward. Okay, for example, we brought forward Friday's meeting in order to make a decision. So you meet earlier than scheduled because it's very urgent or something like that. Okay, the opposite of this is to put back. So to put back a meeting means to postpone a meeting. So this could be because people are out of the office. For example, the meeting was put back because many people were on vacation. So you postpone it to a later date when more people are able to attend. Okay, now that we've looked at some basic meeting vocabulary, let's look at the different ways to participate in a meeting. So you may have to actually share your opinion in English, so let's learn how to do that. If you agree with what has been said, you can simply say, I agree. You can also say, that's a good point, or that's a good idea. On the other hand, if you do not agree, then you disagree. You can say, I disagree. Or I don't think that's a good idea, and then maybe suggest something that you think is better. Okay, how to interrupt. If there's something that you really need to say and you can't wait until the speaker is finished talking, then you might need to interrupt them, but you don't want to be rude. So some different ways that you can do this. You can say, if I could just stop you there for a second. Okay, if I could quickly interrupt. Sorry to interrupt, but for example, I just want to mention one thing, or just a moment, I'd like to add something. So these are ways that you can interject, that you can interrupt a meeting without sounding rude or without being rude to the speaker. Okay, now let's look at how to give constructive feedback or constructive criticism. So this criticism, it doesn't mean that you are criticizing someone, it means that you are giving a suggestion as to how you think an idea or a plan, a project, etc. could be improved. So you can say something like, I think we should, how about, I know what you mean, but, and then give your idea, why don't we do something different instead? Okay, so the important thing when you are giving constructive feedback, constructive criticism, is to offer solutions. Don't just disagree. Don't say, I disagree, and then not give any kind of solution. So make sure if you're going to interrupt someone or if you're going to give this constructive criticism, then you have an idea, something that you think is better or can be improved. Okay, so that was just a quick overview of how you can participate in meetings and the different meeting vocabulary. So now let's practice together. I'm going to ask you 3 questions and you can write your answers in the comments. Okay, so my first question is, what do you call a written record of everything said in a meeting? So this is a vocabulary word that we mentioned. So if you remember the answer, then write it in the comments. Okay, how would you disagree in a meeting? So there's different ways that you can do this while remaining polite. So how would you disagree with someone or something that was said in a meeting? Okay, think of your answer and write it in the comments. And then how would you give constructive feedback? Okay, so what are some different ways, or what would you say personally if you wanted to give someone constructive feedback in a meeting? Okay, so as you're doing that, let me tell you more about our course. At ABBA, we have a complete course from beginners to business level. Our course has 144 units, and each unit has a short film, a video class explaining the grammar, and then exercises to help you improve your English. So if you want to sign up with us, we'll provide you with a link, and there you can register for our course. If you register as a free student, then you'll have access to all of the video classes as well as the first unit of each level. And then if you decide to go premium, you'll have access to all of the course content, and you'll be assigned a teacher like me who you can write to anytime you have a question or to practice your writing, your conversation, etc. So with our course, it's very flexible in that you can study from your phone, from your tablet, or from your PC or Mac, and your progress is saved on all of those devices. So you can really study anywhere and anytime. Okay, at ABBA, we have lots of additional resources to help you practice your English. We have our blog, our ABBA journal. Here you can find articles about grammar, about English for business, English for travel, all kinds of really interesting topics for you to read about. And on our Facebook page, we have our weekly live streaming classes, so you can always participate in those and write in the comments. And you can check out our Twitter page and our YouTube channel as well. So there are lots and lots of resources for you to practice with us here at ABBA and improve your English. Okay, so I see that lots of people are joining us today, so that's great. I want to thank you for participating. Feel free to keep writing your answers in the comments, and if I don't get back to you right now, then I will do so later today. So I want to hear what you have to say, and I hope that this class has been useful for you. Let me know if you use English in the workplace or if you ever have to participate in meetings in English. What is your experience? So tell me more about that if you do. And next time, Teacher Dell is going to talk to you about English at the supermarket. So imagine you are traveling in a foreign country and you need to buy some groceries. So she's going to teach you how to do that, the names of the different parts of the supermarket, the different items, and how to ask for help if you need it. Okay, so I hope that you can join that class. Remember, our calendar is posted on our Facebook page, so you can see the entire month what the schedule is, and you can also turn on your notifications to receive a message anytime we're live streaming. Okay, so I want to thank everyone again for joining. Keep writing in the comments and have a great rest of your day. Thanks again, and we'll see you next time. Bye.